So this is the circuitry for MiteNot, which is a pest control robot. So just quickly going over the code here, I've defined all of the different integers for the different components that I have connected here, which is a DC motor, a DC servo, a infrared motion sensor, and then I also have an inductor connected down here that is to simulate a solenoid valve. And then here's the setup for those, where those devices are connected to the Arduino. And then here is my loop. So basically this robot is going to traverse back and forth above a row of plants. And it's going to stop at each plant for a short period of time. During that period of time, it will be scanning for motion. And if motion is detected, it will traverse the head of the robot via this servo here. Then have a brief pause. It will then energize this solenoid simulated by the inductor for a brief period of time. That will then align the CO2 cartridges to a charge of salt. It'll discharge that kind of like a shotgun blast of salt to eliminate the pest. The solenoid valve will shut, and then it will continue scanning. So the way that this code is written, the sensor, the infrared sensor, is not going to be active while the robot is moving. Obviously, it doesn't really make sense to be trying to detect the motion of a bug while the robot itself is moving. And it's going to, in this case, just making an assumption that there's 5 spots where you want the robot to stop. So it's a very simple code. It's going to move if it has not moved at least 4 times. It's going to keep moving in one direction. And then once it's done moving in that direction, it's going to reverse the polarities of the motor pins and move 4 times back in the reverse direction. And then it's going to repeat that indefinitely until you turned it off via the Arduino on-off switch. So I'm going to go ahead and briefly scroll through the code here. And then we're going to go ahead and start simulation. So it's 9-volt power supply. And then this is going to simulate our bug. So it moves in, it's sensed. Oh, hold on a second. This resistor should be 1,000 ohms. Okay, corrected that. Great. So now the bug moves in. The motion is sensed, and at that point you saw the servo traverse. Now you can see this motor's moving, and so if the motor's moving and anything is sensed, the servo will not move. And now that the motor has stopped moving, the servo is the infrared sensor is detecting movement and causing the solenoid the servo motor to traverse. Now the motor's moving again. The solenoid is not active. Now the motor stopped. The solenoid, or the servo, is active again. And although there's not really a great way to show it, every time this servo motor moves, as soon as it's done moving, this inductor down here energizes very briefly to discharge the charge of salt to eliminate the pest.